This is Dr. Ritamarie and I'm here today to talk about one of my favorite subjects to talk about, which is insulin. And why should you care about insulin? Insulin is something that happens behind the scenes in your body. I don't need to know all that stuff. All right, let's talk about something you do care about. Belly fat. You care about belly fat? Who doesn't care about belly fat? Even skinny people have to worry about belly fat. And there's certain conditions in your body that chemically makes you deposit more fat around your belly. We'll talk about that in relation to insulin today, and then when we talk about adrenals in another video, we'll talk about more about how the adrenals contribute to belly fat. So do I have your attention now? Let's talk about belly fat. Okay, it's ugly, it doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, your pants don't buckle, it's not healthy for you. And one of the things people don't realize about belly fat is, in addition to the roll on the outside, a lot of the belly fat is really hidden. Because people say, well, my belly is really big and I just don't feel this lot of fat there. Why is it sticking out like this? Well, your body also deposits fat around the organs. It's called visceral fat. Okay? So there's multiple reasons for this. So let's talk about our buddy insulin. Now that I've got your attention, now I'll talk to you about insulin. Insulin is a hormone. You may not have known that. It's a hormone that's produced by your pancreas. Your pancreas is kind of interesting little character. It's an organ that has both endocrine function, which means it shoots hormones into your blood, and exocrine function, which means it shoots little particles and enzymes and stuff into your digestive tract through a different mechanism, just right into the digestive tract. Hormones are messengers that travel through your body, and they bring signals. They bring messages to different parts to tell them what needs to be done. So insulin is the hormone messenger that tells your body, we have sugar in our blood, and we need to convert that sugar to energy, so let's get that sugar transported into the cells. So insulin is this wonderful chemical that tells the cells, hey, it opens up the door, knock, knock, who's there? It's insulin. What do you need? I have some sugar for you. I need you to make some energy. Okay, let her in. Boom. It goes into the cell. That's what happens normally. If you eat a lot of sugar, lots of sugar, or lots of white flour, or lots of foods that cause your blood sugar to shoot up, your cells get exhausted by your insulin constantly going, knock, knock, who's there? Insulin, oh, it's you again? All right, come on in. Knock, knock, who's there? Oh, all right, if you have to. Knock, knock, who's there? Knock, knock, who's there? They close their ears. They don't want to hear. The cells get tired of all this insulin and constantly having to open up the doors to let this sugar in, and they shut it down. So what does insulin do? Well, what does any good kid do when they say, Mom, and Mom doesn't answer? Mom doesn't answer. Mom! Shouts. So that's what insulin does. That's what your pancreas does. It says, okay, I'm just going to shoot out some more insulin. And it shoots out more and more and more insulin so that it bypasses some of that, and insulin kind of forces its way in. The sugar can force its way in, or insulin can open that, and you get some of it in. But then there's all this sugar left because all the receptors on those cells are not open. And what happens then is, what do you do with all that sugar? Insulin says, I'm not a single function hormone. I can do something else. I can cause you to lay down fat. And I can sweep the blood of all this extra sugar, and I can store it. And there's plenty of places I can store it. But you know where my favorite place to store it is? The belly. Shoots it out, stores it as belly fat. And so the belly gets bigger. The rest of you may not. The belly gets bigger. You're eating all this food, and you're exhausted. What are you going to do? You have no energy because all this sugar you're eating is just getting converted to fat. So you're getting fatter and fatter, so you start eating less and less. And you still keep getting fatter and fatter because your metabolism's shut down. So what do we do about this? Well, there's a number of ways that you can reverse it. The first one is, you got to stop eating all that sugar. You got to stop eating the donuts. You have to stop eating the bread and the pasta. And initially, you have to be pretty strict about it. You may even have to stop eating the high sugar fruits like bananas and grapes. Right? Stick to the lower sugar fruits that have more pectin and are slower to be bringing your sugar up. So that's what you can do to start. But then you have to reverse it. Well, there's lots of things that you can do to help restore the sensitivity of those. And I'll just give you a couple today. I talk way more about this in my courses and in my Assess Your Body course. But one of the things that you can do is exercise. Exercise causes you to burn the fat that's in your blood rather than storing it. It also helps to get the insulin receptors to calm down and be less sensitive. There's some nutrients that you can take. Glutamine is one of them that really helps the insulin receptors to open up and get let the insulin put the sugar in the system. Chromium is another one. Magnesium is another one. But at the heart of it, no matter how much chromium you take, no matter how much glutamine you take, no matter how much magnesium you take, no matter how much fancy herbs, there's all kinds of herbs you can take, no matter how much of that you take, if you're still burning the fire, you're still eating the white flour, the sugar, and even the high carb diet, even if it's a whole grain, it can still do the same thing. If your diet's primarily grains, or you're eating a lot of grains and a lot of bread, you're eating sugar, you're going to have the same problem. So you have to start with the basic situation. You have to start with changing the diet. Sometimes it does help to take the nutrients at the beginning, because one of the things that happens when you have this insulin resistance problem is that your cells are shooting out messages that say, we need more food. We need more food. Even though you've eaten plenty, we need more food because it's not making it in. And so your appetite goes up. And what do you crave? You crave carbs. You crave sugar. And so people with this insulin resistance, they'll eat a meal and then they still want more. They want sugar. And so what you can do is start by helping with some of the nutrients, giving it some B vitamins. That's another thing that we talked about in another video. B vitamins are real important. So you have your B vitamins and your chromium and your magnesium and your glutamine, and you do that for 2 or 3 weeks, and the sugar cravings start to go down, and then it becomes easier to get off of the sugar and the carbs. And you can actually turn this around in a month if you really vigilant and you eat the right foods and you identify the problem. So thank you for being here, and I hope you've learned a lot, and just go out and make one of those changes and get your insulin receptors happy again.